Hello, I'm your host Vesatola Bork, here with another smashing good anime review, Beastars Seasons 1 through 3. Now, when I first saw this anime, I wasn't think much of it at first, but after a while I began to like it, and I thought it was amazing, grand, beautiful, and it talked about Legoshi, a grey wolf falling in love with a dwarf rabbit named Haru, and Juno, for having feelings for Legoshi, then later having feelings for Louis. And Jock's friend, and Legoshi's friend Jock, struggling with depression, and Gonin training Legoshi to be a fighter. In the first season, it talks about Legoshi trying to discover who killed Tem, this llama, at his school, and also him having feelings for Haru, and Haru having a relationship with Louis, the deer, and then Juno having coming along and Legoshi defending her from some bullies. Also, it talked about Haru being kidnapped by a lion gang, and almost being eaten. Then Legoshi shows up to save her, and he tells her he has feelings for her, and they spend the night in a hotel, and after a while, the next season talks about Legoshi going out in the field to try to catch Tem's killer, which happens to be Riz, the bear, and how Louis is also the leader of the new Shishigumi after he killed the previous boss that tried to eat Haru. And Legoshi was able to defeat Riz by eating Louis' leg, and Louis explained. And then Legoshi was able to defeat him, but Legoshi got a devouring on his record, and Louis, he still graduated, and Louis went back to school to graduate. And also in the anime, it talks about how Louis came from the black market in Beastars, and how he was adopted by the CEO of the Horns conglomerate. And in season 3, it told Legoshi drops out of school and goes into an apartment to do some self-reflection. And anyways, Yaya comes in, and the current Beastar comes in and offers Legoshi a deal he couldn't refuse. Yaya will wipe Legoshi's record clean, and so he can have a life with Haru, because carnivores that have a prior record devouring can't marry herbivores. And Haru is adjusting life to college, and she and Legoshi go on a date, and he explains he wants to marry her and be with her. Then when Legoshi is at a masquerade party, sorry, I had a frog in my throat. He meets Melon, the main villain and the new leader of the Shishigumi Lions. He's a mixed breed. He's half cheetah and half antelope. Gazelle. Sorry, I get the two mixed up. And Legoshi talks to him and talks to Melon, and Melon, he does this. He pulls out a gun and shoots Legoshi, and Louis could feel Legoshi being in trouble. And when Legoshi woke up, he was in the hospital, and he was outside his body. There he meets his dead mother, Leone, who was a mixed breed, a mixed Komodo dragon and wolf. And Legoshi, and those of you that don't know, Jonas Scott lost his mum to cancer a while back, so I can imagine how much Jonah was holding back all those tears when he was recording, and also, I think Jonah definitely relates to Legoshi after losing his mum, and because Leona, she had some deformities, as you call, like she started to grow scales where her fur should be, and it was a genetic thing, and she was felt sad and scared and isolated, so she locked herself away, and she could only communicate with Legacy through a hole in the door, and she went through a lot and decided to take her own life, which was tragic. And the night before she killed herself, she went to snuggle with Legacy, and Legacy was awake that night, and he thought her scales and fur looked beautiful, and he wanted more than anything to hug his mum, to have her hug him, and to feel her, which was pretty tragic. And when Legacy wakes up, he goes to his mum's grave and is completely exposed to the elements, and he howls at the moon. But how Legacy got all the way to the cemetery without anyone seeing him naked, I will never know. Anyways, Legacy confronts Melon again, and Melon tries to kill him, and at the end of part 1, it is revealed Melon is a professor at Haru's school, and in the second part of season 3, Legacy survives by using a secret phrase Sagra taught Legacy, and Legacy made it back to shore and was safe and unscathed. Anyways, and then Legacy, he heads back to his apartment, takes over his cold, and there he meets up with, and after a while he meets up with his old dorm mates, Jack and all his other friends, and they go to a place where they play fetch and have a good time, and Jack reveals to Legacy about his depression, and Legacy confronts him, and they have a talk, and Jack tells Legacy he misses Legacy's howl, and how he and Jack and his buddies pretend howl, and then when Jack was leaving, he was able to hear Legacy's howl from Legacy's apartment, and after a while, Haru, who meets Melon, and they talk, and Melon holds Haru the same way Legacy held her, and Melon had a weird desire to try to eat Haru, was immediately fascinated by her. Haru wasn't afraid of living or dying. And also Haru went to stay at Legacy's apartment, and the two had a chat, and Haru went and snuggled up next to Legacy, and I thought it was cute, him holding her in his arms, and her being close to him. It was really nice. And it was pretty sad when Legacy thought he killed Haru when he saw some red on Haru's shirt, but turns out Haru had just spilled some tomato juice on it, and she went to get some yogurt, and Legacy decides to propose to Haru and ask her for her hand in marriage, and anyways, Legacy is framed for a crime he didn't commit, and he goes into hiding, and Louis talks about there in the black market. Legacy meets Louis, and Louis talks about his past in the black market and how he was sold to the Horns conglomerate, and how Legacy had to enter in the contest for the Turf War to confront Melon, and they kind of get into she had to fight all the two leaders of the rival gangs, and two of them even had respect for Legacy, and both of them. And then when Legacy fought Melon, he was able to subdue him, and Legacy's grandpa, Gosha, who met Haru earlier and told Legoshi Haru was alright, and Gosha told Haru about Legoshi's mom and Gosha's wife, Toki, and also Haru got a good perspective of Legoshi's mixed family's life. And then Gosha ran Legoshi to the media festival so that Legoshi can meet Haru, and Louis confronted them, told everyone about the mayor's blackmailing plot and everything, and the mayor kinda took this weird coffee thing that was in Keenest called Kupi Luwak that made carnivores go crazy, and Legoshi showed up and stopped the crazy mayor, and everyone thought Legoshi was devourer until brave little Haru showed up and admit he's not a devourer, and he's just Legoshi and he would never hurt anyone. And then that's where they shared their first kiss, where Haru proved Legoshi wasn't dangerous. He wasn't a monster. He was a gentle soul, which was really grand. Haru fell in love with Legoshi and saw his gentle soul. Anyways, the anime ends with the drama club showing off their play, and it was a big success, and the mayor went to jail for numerous blackmail crimes and a lot of other stuff. Melon survived, but nobody knows the terms of his condition, and Louis, he married his fiancée and became a member of the Holmes conglomerate, and Juno and Louis both decided to end their relationship. Of course, I do have the theory that they would still secretly see each other and, spend time together, and that's my theory. As for Legoshi, he admitted that he wants to spend every moment of his life with Haru, and he wants to be with her. And I think after Legoshi captured Melon, Yaya probably not only wiped Legoshi's clean, but Legoshi's record clean. Yaya probably also pulled a few strings and got Legoshi back into Cherrington so he could graduate with his friends, go off to college, and then marry Haru. And I do like at the end of this anime where the cop sees Legoshi holding Haru and he says, "I see you, Wolf, let go of her." But then Haru says, "Don't worry, we're together." And yep, they sure were. And this scene is really cute. Legoshi holding Haru in his arms. It's so beautiful. They're adorable together. And I think it's a good anime, and I think this is one you'll all definitely want to watch. And these are my opinions. Please let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. This is your host, Vetsa Twilight Box, signing off.